One of the leaders in our island community dealing with the post-typhoon Mawar cleanup and recovery is Mary Rhodes. She is the president of the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. And Mary has been stationed pretty much in Tumon throughout dealing with the problem of the hotels and occupancy and the 6,000 people that have visited our island. And Mary, I can think of no better uh, aspect that typifies our island culture than the way that we, hospitality isn't just, show them a good meal, put a nice Pacific show together for them. These are times when people really, really need us, and we are like really going above and beyond to take care of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We are working with all of the hotels, the tour agents. GBB activated a language service company that has provided services in the past before, not just during emergencies, but just as a regular service for tourists. And they have translation services in Korean, Japanese, Chinese. And so that's available. And we have that up online at the GBB website. And we've been sharing that with all of our hoteliers and our restaurateurs or anyone who may be interacting with tourists, that this phone is available. We've also had to relocate some displaced tourists throughout the typhoon to facilities that actually have power, water, and fuel generation with generators. So that's really what we've been doing the last couple of days. I've actually been at Homeland Security, Office of Civil Defense. GHRA serves in the RAC together with GBB, and we've sent out a couple of JIC releases specifically regarding tourists. We have about 5 to 6,000 tourists who are on Guam, and that will remain the same until the airport opens up, and we're hoping that will be on Tuesday, May 30th. And so once that happens, hopefully that we can take care of the tourists who are currently in our hotels today and some in Airbnbs, but we've been transferring some of them because a lot of the facilities have been challenged, as well as the rest of the island, with power and water supply and fuel for generators. And so we've been working within the GHRA to identify which hotels need those services, which ones are back on island power, as well as water with GWA and GPA, and those who are still in need of fuel, diesel for their generators. And so we're assisting each other and trying to figure out who needs to take care of these distressed passengers. And of course, GHRA is working with GBB on programs for these distressed passengers as well, trying to encourage them to come back, in the future, and they can use these services when they return. But in the meantime, still trying to take care of all of their accommodations, meals, needs while they're here on Guam.
Yeah, and also it should be noted that for the guests of our island right now who are having urgent medical needs and everything, several of the clinics have identified themselves as available. So thanks to the Guam Medical Association for saying, like, the following clinics, if visitors to our island do need medical care, those clinics are ready to accommodate them.
Yes. And we also have, again, Net Enterprises, but also MAI with the Japan Guam Travel Association. They provide services to tourists for medical emergencies during an emergency and also during regular travel here on Guam. We have many clinics and medical providers who provide services to tourists while they're here. In addition, GHRA is assisting FEMA for all humanitarian efforts to provide lodging and accommodations while they're here, but also transportation. And so we've had hundreds of FEMA and other types of federal agencies and volunteer groups, VOAT groups, come to Guam, such as American Red Cross and Salvation Army, where they've flown into Guam, and we've been working with them to get accommodation and transportation while they're here assisting Guam residents.
Now, Mary, with the situation about lodging being let's say, so delicate right now, at least for the past couple of days, if there are locals who want to do, like the staycation thing, and they want to say, I know my village or my neighborhood probably aren't going to have power and water for at least another couple of days. I'd like to go to a hotel and maybe, have a nice meal and stay like in a nice room. Are the hotels able to accommodate locals at this point without stressing the system?
Yes, some hotels have been accepting, but majority of them are not accepting new reservations because they're actually having to transfer some guests from room to room while they remediate the rooms that were brought in water. And so the hotels have been doing their own internal assessments and taking care of in-house guests. Again, we've also added new guests to each of the properties through FEMA and other humanitarian efforts and agencies, federal agencies and volunteer groups. And then also what we're doing today is putting together a list of hotels and restaurants that are also doing dine-in and takeout service only. Maybe not providing accommodations, but we are putting together that list of dine-in and takeout. I know the Korean Association, they did put out a list of, grocery stores, mom and pop C-stores, service stations that have been are available for the community that are open. So we are doing the same to make sure that the community knows who is open for dine-in as well as for takeout.
All right. So once again, Mary Rhodes, the president of the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association, making sure that our signature holiday spirit and our spirit of Inafa Malik continues to guests of our island, even in this time of a very awkward crisis. So Mary, thank you for your leadership once again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.